All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of January, 2025, and this is the SIG Cloud Provider office hours meeting. SIG Cloud Provider is a subproject of Kubernetes SIG lifecycle, and as such, we follow their meeting guidelines, which basically means please treat everyone as you would expect to be treated, or explicitly so. Please be kind to each other. And if you have a question, please raise your hand and I will call on you. So let's kind of get into the agenda here. I put just one item on, but I guess before we get to that, let's see if there's any sub-project updates. Does anybody have an update they would like to provide today?
I have a pretty brief update.
Cool.
So API server network proxy had a nasty race condition in one of our tests, which was blocking us for a little while. It took longer than I want to admit to get it solved, but we've unblocked we found the race condition in the test. We fixed the test, which unblocks, and we're in the process of patching a bunch of CVEs. And we will probably be backporting those CVE patches to, I'm guessing, as far back as 129. I expect to spend a little bit of time on that over the next couple of days, getting that all done.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw a flurry of activity on the repository there, so I was wondering what that might be related to, but like this answers my question. So, yeah, thank you, Walter. Are there any other sub-project updates that folks might want to share? Okay, well, I'm not seeing any hands going up or anything, so we'll move on to our regular agenda. I put a topic here because we had several discussions last year about, kind of maintainership and ownership of repositories and whatnot. I proposed a session for the Maintainer Summit coming up to have a deeper discussion about this. And on Monday, I was informed that it was accepted. So I just wanted to share the news here, and I'll just, click on this, but basically this is a continuation of the discussion that we started last year, that Dims was kind enough to join us for. And he and I are going to start the discussion, and then hopefully we'll just have a big talk at the Maintainer Summit. So I don't know if anybody has questions or comments about that, or maybe issues they'd like to see discussed there. But yeah, this is just kind of an FYI, let folks know. All right, any questions or comments about that? All right, does anybody have ad hoc, agenda items they would like to add? Otherwise, I'm going to go into triage here, and we might have a very short meeting today. Okay, I'm not seeing hands going up, so I'm guessing people are voting for short meeting. So let's see if there's anything that needs to be triaged here. Okay, so it looks like we've got one from yesterday and one from 2 weeks ago, although I think we already looked at the long-lived TCP connections. And I think that Tim Hocken has kind of focused that towards SIG networking. So let's take a look at this one. A pod that terminated was considered by the HPA controller to be at its target utilization. I'm not sure that this applies to a cloud provider, but
Yeah, maybe we want to roll down and see why they think it's us. I mean, SIG auto scaling is on this, which seems right. There we go.
yeah. Let's see, similar to those issues. Well, these are HPA related. I guess we could just leave a comment here for.
Well, so is there anything that indicates this is specific to a cloud provider?
Yeah, that's a good question. Does that
I
sound
think
good to folks?
the only link I'm seeing to any cloud provider is that they mention they're using GKE.
Okay.
Is that up in one of the bits we didn't expand?
Yeah, cloud provider and
Okay.
Kubernetes version.
Okay, hang on a sec. Oh, and they're on 129. Interesting. Okay. 129. Okay. So 129.866. All right.
Okay. So I guess does that comment capture kind of the questions we have here?
Sorry to be so late. I'm just looking right now.
Welcome, Bridget.
It is a very Wednesday.
I'll scroll back up to the top here so you can see the.
Oh yeah, I had read this. I just go back down to the comment and I'll tell you what you think. Yeah, I especially think the part where we're not sure what's requested is it would be very important to get context about what they're looking for there.
Right. Yeah. Like that's looking at the issue. I mean, we can see it's on GKE, but there's nothing here specifically that calls it out as a problem with like the cloud controller manager or something. So that's what I'd be curious to know more about.
The
Yeah,
two issues that are linked, one is for a GKE and one is for EKS.
Are you talking about these ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. But these are HPA. I mean, these seem to be HPA specific.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything about this screams HPA. Even if it is even if they're using one of the internal GKE autoscalers, that's still an autoscaler thing, not a.
Right.
And
Yeah. As far as I
like,
know, the cloud provider shouldn't have anything to do with adding resources to the node objects or anything like that. So like aside from maybe storage related stuff, like I couldn't see how this would affect.
note where it says that somebody linked a pull request. Sorry if you already discussed this, but somebody linked a pull request. They claim will close this. So, I mean, again, I'm not sure. Yeah, like, would it, etc.
Maybe they'll also have an interesting thing. I noticed they're on 129, which suggests that they're probably on the stable channel,
Oh,
which
interesting
means
point.
they're they are even if it were to fix in 133, they are a long way from getting to 133.
And so, to your point, Walter, I think you're correct. And the big question would be, can this be reproduced in a newer version? Because if they are trying to put a fix in, it's certainly possible they could get something backported, but just depending on exactly how bad the bug is considered. And if it sometimes, of course, you could cause other problems by backporting a fix that has too much of a blast radius. You know the deal.
Oh yeah,
So
I mean
it's no, there's no guarantee that it would get backported, even if it were
this
valid. Yeah,
this is why our release managers are very careful about what they let through.
exactly.
Yeah, this is good. I'm just adding some extra, comments here.
So the PR is in draft status still, but it seems very simple.
Yeah, it didn't look, I mean, it didn't look complicated, but I guess the question is, do we know if does it actually solve the problem?
How long has it been open?
Not long, it looks like, yeah, just yesterday.
20 hours. Yeah.
And I mean, Adrian's the right person to ping there. Adrian is, one of the does
If it's
work
been,
upstream.
yeah, I mean, if it's for 20 hours, it probably is. Yeah, it's just going to come up the next time they have a meeting. So,
Right, which won't be till next Monday.
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we've got some questions here. Why don't we leave those out and see what happens? And if this is still on the books next week, then or in 2 weeks, then we'll see it again. And the only other one was this long-lived TCP connections, but I think, yeah, we commented on this last week, and then Tim came in and added some more. I guess like after the discussions from before, I decided to make a comment, speaking as the co-chair, but we didn't, when we looked at this, we didn't even think it was us. So I just wanted to make it clear that we didn't have any ideas for suggestions or improvements, because that was what Tim was asking about here. So I think those are the only two that we're looking at right now. And might as well just take a look over the periodics to see if things are looking generally healthy. All right, that's what we want to see, like lots of green, right? Let's maybe, okay, there we go. Roll over. That looks good. Kudos to the kube maintainers keeping this so green. Appreciate the effort. Okay, so I guess that is the end of our agenda. Does anyone have, I'll ask once more since we had a few people join afterwards. Does anyone have any ad hoc topics that they would like to add before we end here?
Just one reminder to people who might not be familiar with Maintainer Summit or might think, oh, great, I'm going to go to KubeCon. I'm definitely going to go see Almiko and, Jim's discuss that or whatever. Well, wait, are you both on that? That's interesting. You're the only speaker listed. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't know why that
not
was.
sure what's going on there. But
Dims did accept it though.
yeah. Anyway, so like the thing for us to just note in the recording here, and I'll put it in the doc as well, is they must sign up to go to Maintainer Summit. And it's very much like Contributor Summit used to be. You apply, and in 7 to 10 business days, they'll tell you whether or not you got in. So, and
Right.
if you're a Kubernetes org member, you'll be fine. So probably most people who would be interested are going to be fine anyway.
And this is a good point to bring up, because when I was working on the abstract for that, I shared it internally at Red Hat to get some comments from our people. And we had a project manager who was like, can I come see this? Like, I'm going to be at KubeCon. And we were like, you won't be able to make it to the Maintainer Summit. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's a good point. Thank you for bringing it up, Bridget.
Cool. And yeah, I'll put that link in the doc, and I'll just put it in the chat here too, because anybody who's on this call and plans to be at KubeCon will almost certainly want to go register themselves for Maintainer Summit. So that's just kind of a thing we should do.
Absolutely. Okay, and if there's nothing else, I guess we can take back about 44 minutes of our day here. So going
Great.
once, going twice. All right, that's a
So,
meeting.
thank you.
See y'all in 2 weeks.
Bye. Bye.